Hello everyone. Today I present the fin rocket. Featuring 3 tenoko boats, an infinite wing, an infinite rocket, a control stick, and an optional infinite battery. This build offers excellent control over an infinite rocket, and has a special feature of being able to skip on the top of water. I'll provide links in the description for how to get the infinite wing and infinite rocket. This build is heavily based on Oshkosh Ganash's infinite rocket flyer, featuring 3 yiga rafts in a row. Infinite rockets are notoriously difficult to steer, so both of these builds use 0-point energy, or ZPE, in order to increase the control stick sensitivity. And the increased sensitivity from the tenoko boat allows us to make sharp banked turns like this. This is a pretty great turning radius for an infinite rocket. For the next 5 minutes, I'm going to fly around and limit test the steering and durability of this build, and I'll be providing some commentary about what I'm testing and about the building process as I go. And then after that, I'm going to show some customization options. My first test is going to be pretty tough. I'm going to try and circle around Zora's domain down near the water and then exit through the Zora River Valley under the bridges. Here we've got a beautiful recovery on the descent. We've got a curve around the architecture. The wall on the right is going to trip us up a little bit, but we bounced off it fine. As you can see, the steering is quite responsive. This right turn up here is going to be tough. Didn't quite turn in time. But it has some pretty good durability. Alright, let's go back down and dive. So on this build, there's actually 2 kinds of ZPE being used. The first is part associated. So the wings, the tenoko boat, the yiga raft, those all have increased control stick sensitivity, because the devs wanted the users to be able to maneuver those parts more easily. The second is length-based ZPE. You can see how the boats are stacked end for end to provide a long lever arm. This allows for better maneuverability in changing the direction of the infinite rocket. I and others have also found that putting the steering stick and the rocket far apart also provides a bit better handling. So as I was designing this build, I was trying out a bunch of different materials to see what their effects on the infinite rocket steering were. So I would just have an infinite wing, an infinite rocket, and I would put some object underneath the wing and see how it affected the turning radius. And I found generally heavier objects tended to increase the sensitivity more. But the best object overall was the tenoko boat, and the yiga raft shortly behind that for providing better turning radius. So coupling that knowledge with stacking end for end 3 objects together with the rocket at the back, I feel like this provides really great responsive steering for an infinite rocket with not very many parts. We're getting a little messed up here, but it's going to be fine. There we go. Beautiful shot. I don't know about you, but I think it's about time to start skipping in the water again. While I'm doing this, I'm just pushing down to enter the water, but the buoyancy is what's popping us back up. go to Lake Hylia. Bet we can do a big jump off the waterfall. Yeah! Nice one. Hello, Gleok. Another great shot. Alright, my last test is going to be trying to do a left turn hovering right over the surface of the water. You can't overturn with this because you'll start to tip past the point and Link will be ejected sideways from the steering stick. That's perfect. So I also wanted to test different configurations of the rocket and steering stick. Here we're putting the rocket at the very front and Link at the very back, and we get really great sensitivity. It does feel a little bit more prone to tipping though. Not quite as balanced as the other configuration. Here, if we put both Link and the rocket in the very middle, we get okay sensitivity. It's a little bit worse than putting Link and the rocket far apart. And we can still get the skipping effect from the middle. So really any placement of the control stick and the rocket are okay with this design. Here's a trick shot through the ring in Kakariko. That's about the steepest angle you can go at to stay on, otherwise Link will go too deep in the water. In comparison, the Yiga rafts can also do this bouncing effect on the water. But the dive angle is a little bit shallower for the ejection. Even in precarious situations, the rocket is able to get us safely out of the way. And we're fast enough to be able to bully Gleoks. We can also mount some artillery on the front. Being at only 7 parts, you can add a 14-part turret on the front. Although you go a little bit too fast for it to really do much. If the turning radius was a little bit tighter, I'd be able to do circles around Gleoks with this kind of turret. Lionel's too, but as you can see the turning radius isn't quite small enough. Lastly, let's talk about how to build the Finn rocket. To start, we're going to go to the Hateno Ancient Tech Lab, and we're going to make our way to Tenoko Island. I'm using Lightning Larry to get over there quickly. Once we're there, we'll take out a wing and a control stick, attach the control stick, and then we're going to attach the wing to a boat, and then we're going to attach 2 more boats behind that. It's a pretty easy build. With vanilla gameplay, you can place the rocket as far back as I'm placing it right now, and that's still within Link's battery range. You may have seen me place the rocket further back, and that's because I'm using an Infinite Rocket mod. I didn't know this at the time of recording, but the Infinite Rocket mod allows me to place rockets outside of Link's normal battery range and they can still turn on. Using the Infinite Rocket mod is great because it allows me to take a rocket out of my inventory and I can just take off immediately. Overall, the Finn rocket blew me away with its simplicity and its excellence. Let me know what you thought down below, and if you have any ideas for how to improve the handling. Thanks for watching, everyone.